Don't act like you don't want to hear what I got to say. I digress. Hello, you guys. I'm Whitney D, and you're tuning in to Reviews with Whitney D. Let's get into it, shall we? I'm going to be discussing a very, very near and dear topic to myself, molestation. On Monday, the Red Talk table sat down with former NBA player Keyon Dooling, and he came out with his experience with molestation at the age of 7, as well as having an encounter older in his years that caused him to go in a kind of spiral downwards into a state of depression that caused him to go into rehab. And so I wanted to discuss and talk about some things that he brought up and just to share my own experience on this topic. Unfortunately, I am a product. I am a survivor of molestation. I do recall his experience being a family friend that was older and caused this infliction on him, and he never really dealt with it. My particular case was a family member, and so it was someone I had to see on a continuous basis. Nonetheless, on the show, he stated that, you don't really talk about it, especially as a man. You don't really talk about it, and he kind of questioned himself in a lot of cases, his sexuality. He questioned that he became very promiscuous, and just try to prove that it didn't happen, that he didn't like it, and on sort. And just going through the experience in which I went through myself, I was a little younger than him. I was probably about 5 or 6, probably if not around his age. I don't recall being that big, but nonetheless, you do question yourself. You do question yourself. Did I deserve it? Did I do something? And he stated that, and it was like, wow, to hear another person experience something that you go through, it kind of opens up things for you and open your eyes and make you say, oh, okay, so it wasn't just me, or oh, okay, I wasn't just thinking like that. So it was very good to hear him say that, I did ask myself those questions, I did wonder if, if it was wrong. And so he had an encounter as he got older to where he was in the restroom, and a drunken man touched or grabbed his behind, and that triggered him. And when you go through situations like that, you do have triggers. And I recall stating that on a video, when you in regards to the Tamar Braxton situation, when you go through molestation and things like that, you have what are triggers, and it can get you back in that state to where you feel vulnerable and you respond in a negative way because you don't want to feel vulnerable, you don't want to feel out of control or helpless. And he had a situation like that, and then since he didn't heal from his childhood trauma, it caused him to react that way. And then since he didn't say anything about his childhood trauma, he just kind of just spiraled down because he didn't talk to nobody about it. And they ended up placing him, his wife admitted him into a crazy home, which he later, got help. So I'm just here as an advocate of, survivor molestation. Just a few keys that you guys want to take under consideration when dealing with people with that. We do try to move on with life. We do try to exit active if things did not happen, and that's because we don't want to hurt the people that are around us. We don't want to hurt the people that are involved. Kind of just be quiet, and that's why for me this whole R. Kelly situation is kind of like, whoa, the way that people are responding, because I for years didn't say anything to my mom about it. It wasn't until I got 14, old enough to where I was like, no, stop. This is going to have to stop. And it actually, I blurted out in a situation with my older sister because I was very promiscuous. I was very angry because I had so much stuff that I had bottled in, and I was getting labeled and getting talked about because of how I was reacting and how I was lashing out. But it was due to the stuff that I was going through that I didn't share with anybody. I later decided to tell my mom, and when I did, that's the exact reason why I kind of kept it to myself for a while. It wasn't that she didn't believe me or anything like that, but she started to blame herself and felt like she couldn't protect me because it later came out that this same person did the same to my older sister. So this is the thing. What people have to realize, it's a generational curse, and I'm a strong believer in that the abuser has been abused. That's just my belief. Adopt or you adapt those behaviors. And because I found myself at a younger age trying to mess around with neighborhood kids the same way that it was being done to me. Um, and that's because hurt people. And especially when you deal with a child and you're messing with them when they're little, they're not developed. They don't know these things. We expose these things to them by the actions that we do as adults or as mature individuals. So that's why when people are saying the whole R. Kelly situation, it's like, oh, well, they know what they're doing in this and then the third. Well, the thing is that it's the mental complexity that's going on in their mind that's causing them to believe that these things are okay, but they're not. Like, me telling my younger son or my younger daughter things that this is the way you should think and this is the way you should operate. That's why hate is trained. Children don't come out hating people or disliking a race or a color or a creed or whatever. Those things are adapted and they're trained. Just like, an adolescent child. I'm sorry, at 16 when I got pregnant, 17 when I had my son, I was not mature. I didn't know any better. I lied to my mom to get out of the house to begin with. So the thing is that in regards to this whole R. Kelly situation, is that you get them at a certain age, and you're pretty gold. You get inside the mind because, like I said, for years I just didn't say anything because it was like, don't you say anything. So now what I do with my daughter and even with my son, I let them know, you speak up, you tell me. And now it's a habit to where my daughter tells me everything, and I'm okay with that. But because I don't want to ever come to a point to where she feel like she can't come to me. No, you tell me. I don't care if you get a paper cut. You come and tell me. And even with my son, because as Keelan stated, it's a thing in like a male thing where they don't go to doctors, they don't trust, and I'll talk because nobody's ever. I think for me, I feel no one has to ever just open up that dialect to where a man or a child boy feels okay to open up and talk about it. They're told not to cry. They're told not to really be boisterous about hurt or pain or something that they're going through. And that's why I say it stops with me and in my household. Oh no, we're gonna talk. We're gonna communicate. I'm gonna ask you questions. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but I want to get you uncomfortable so you can be comfortable on down the line. But in regards to the show, the Red Table Talk was phenomenal. She even um, spoke on Common coming out with a book and stating his molestation that he went through. And there's a lot of men out there that have gone through this. We know it's a lot of women. It seems like that's just kind of brushed over, but it's the world. It's a world issue, and I think it always starts from home. We need to talk to our young girls and our young boys and let them know it's okay to talk. It's okay to tell. Forget the threats, and that's what I tell my children. Forget them threats. If somebody does something inappropriate to you and tell you, "Oh, I'm gonna get your mom, I'm doing," we good. Let them try. Okay. But thank you guys so very much. This has been Reviews with Whitney D. I'm Whitney D, and I just wanted to come and discuss the Red Table Talk with you guys that happened on Monday. Here's your turn. Tell me what you think. Have you gone through a trauma as far as molestation and you would like to talk about it? Share your story in the comments and I'll reach out to you and I'll pray for you and we'll get through it. Or do you not agree with Keelan's perspective in regards to the man or the male persona, that they don't talk about things that hurt them or that goes on. Just tell me what you think down in the comments below about the whole Red Table Talk discussion, and let's move forward, shall we? While you're there, please take out the time to subscribe if you are not. Sharing is caring. So if you like what you see and what you heard, please take out the time to share this video. And while you're there, so you'll know when I know, press that notification bell and be in the know. And give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Hey, you were here, so it doesn't really matter. Thank you guys so very much. I am Whitney D, and this has been Reviews with Whitney D. Well, don't act like you don't want to hear what I got to say. I digress.